So now we are going to discuss about the chapter of PGBP, right? Yeah. So now we will be discussing about the chapter of PGBP in this session. So in the previous session, we completed TDS and TCS and the questions relating to that. So today's class, let us target for PGBP and iOS. Yeah. So now we shall focus on PGBP and iOS, right? So as far as PGBP is concerned, so PGBP is the one of the core areas of income tax. So if you are going to practice in the area of taxation, you cannot practice without touching this chapter. Whether you are going to be in whether you're going to be either in transfer pricing or in the international taxation arena, wheresoever you're going to be. So without going into the chapter of PGBP, you cannot reach the maximum level which you wish to reach in the taxation part, because PGBP is one area which is teacher's delight and also a practitioner's delight. It is the second highest litigated chapter after. So basically, there are three areas in which the litigation will be very high. One is the area of PGBP, next is the area of transfer pricing, and the third one is the area of penalties, search seizure areas, assessment areas. So these are the three areas of which PGBP now it is in your intermediate level. So the importance of this chapter is not only for the examination but also for your practical and real life. Because without PGBP, I don't think you might be in a position. So whichsoever company you're going to join. So one basic question which might be asked to you is whether what to say, whether an expense is allowed or disallowed, or should TDS be deducted. So the reason why we just study TDS before coming to PGBP, all those things you'll understand here. So coming back to the chapter of PGBP is contained in chapter 4D of the Income Tax Act, right? So chapter 4A is salary, 4B repelled, 4C is income from house property, 4D is profits and gains from business or profession. So in PGBP, the charging section is section 28. So it is contained from section 28 to 44DA. Right. Here the chapter looks like the first section, section 28 is the charging section as usual. Section 29 is computation of PGBP. Section 30 to 36 will speak about specific deductions. Section 37 will speak about general deduction. Next, section 38, 40 and 43B will speak about specific disallowances. Section 41 will speak about deemed profits. 43, it will speak about definitions. 44 AA, 44 AB, 44 AD, 44 ADA, 44 AE, all those things will speak about tax audit and presumptive taxation. So your entire chapter can be put into maybe three buckets, right? So even in that bucket, we'll just split it further. So this first bucket is there, right? Here we'll be having three things, not three, we'll just have four things. So one is normal deductions, specific deductions. Next is spread over deductions. Next is depreciation. Next is general deductions. So this is going to have four parts. This is going to be a single part. This is going to be a single part. So somewhere around five, we can just divide the chapter into 5 to 6 blocks. That is just for the purpose of learning, but for the purposes of examination, anything can be twisted and anything can be combined with any other thing. So first bucket can be combined with second, third, fourth, or it can be combined with this, it can be combined with this. So you can create literally n number of questions from the area of PGBP, because if you are just going to change one word, so the entire answer will change. So that is the beauty of the subject. Beauty of this income tax itself is the same, but the beauty of the chapter of PGBP is primarily because of this uncertain nature of the chapter, right? For examination, yeah, I accept, maybe you should spend some time, but once you spend the initial time, right, there cannot be a chapter as good as PGBP, right? So enjoy the chapter. Yeah, I understand there is an exam, but if you're going to miss certain things just for the sake of marks, right, that is not going to work. This is a chapter in which every one of us should enjoy the beauty of the chapter, because this chapter is ultimately beautiful. this chapter, capital gains. These are some very, very beautiful chapters. Right. So coming back to our discussion. So first, what is PGBP income? What is the need for it? So generally, the PGBP income is the tax of the business profits. Okay. So generally, if you just see, there is a P&L account which is prepared, which is going to show me the net profit of the business. So that net profit of the business is I'm going to use to compute what is my tax liability. Generally, நம்ம 12th வரைக்கும் நம்ம என்ன பண்ணிட்டு இருந்தோம்? We'll take the P&L, profit இருக்கும், tax rate 30% அப்படின்னா என்ன பண்ணுவோம்? Profit into 30% போட்டு போயிடும். That was what we would have done till at 12th standard, right? But here, what we will do is we'll take the same base as net profits, but there will be certain adjustments being made to that net profit to arrive at the taxable profit. First thing which we should understand is the net profit and the taxable profit are not the same. Okay, ma'am. Net profit என்றது வேற, taxable profit என்றது வேற. So it is not one and the same. It is primarily because net profit is computed as per the accounting standards and accounting policies and accounting principles. But taxation profit is prepared based on tax law. Okay. So first, to clear our basics, accounting is the end point of accounting is the starting point of taxation. I can put it this way. What is the end point of accounting for me to find my net profit? My starting point of taxation is I'll start with this net profit and I'll make all the adjustments. Right. So this is the overall view. So every question of PGBP, it should be solved only in this method for us first to get marks. Second, if you are going to understand this chapter in this 4 buckets, right? So while we are reading every provision, what you should immediately do is go and recall your accounting. What should have been done for the specific entry in accounting? What should have been done for the specific item in accounting? After finding out that, you should find under which bucket is this going to fall. There are 4 buckets. Under which bucket is this going to fall? And based on that, you need to decide what should be done. Okay. So what are the 4 buckets? First, we'll be starting as per net profit as per P&L account. With that, you should add 2 things. First one addition will be expenses which are debited in the P&L account, but which is not allowable as per the Income Tax Act. What will come into this, that is our discussion. Don't worry about this. Just for the time being, by heart this. For the time being, by the end of the chapter, you will understand this. Okay. The first thing is you take the net profit as per P&L. So whatever expenses debited in P&L account, but it is not allowable as per provisions of Income Tax Act, add the same. Second, whatever income is taxable under the head PGBP, but whichever is not credited to the P&L account, add it. So basically 2 adds, 2 subtractions. Okay, well, first expenses debited in P&L account, but not allowed as per Income Tax Act, add the same. Next, expenses not debited in P&L account, but allowable as per Income Tax Act, deduct the same. Okay. So basically, if there's a net profit of 1000 rupees and you have debited an expense which is not allowable as per Income Tax Act, 100 rupees nee pandrukke abdina, so to that extent your profit will increase. So it will be 1100. Okay, well, same is the case if you have just found out your net profit without deducting an expense which is allowable as per Income Tax Act abdina, and the expense nee ipo subtract panna, it is similar to you debiting it to the P&L account. 100, it will be 900. Okay, so it is similar to you debiting it to your P&L account. Next is income which is taxable under this head, it is not credited to the P&L account. See, if an income is taxable under the head PGBP, but your starting point is net profit as per P&L and it is not credited to P&L, what does that mean? I should add it. Same is the case, whatever income is not taxable under the head income from under the head PGBP, but it is already credited, subtract the same. So totally there are only 4 buckets. Start with net profit as per P&L. 2 adds, 2 subtractions. First one is expenses which are debited in P&L account but not allowable as per Income Tax Act. Next is income taxable under the head PGBP, but which is not credited to the P&L account. Then there are 2 subtractions. First one is income which is taxable under other heads of income, but credited to P&L account, that is to be subtracted. Next is expenses which are not debited in P&L account but allowable as per deduction, that is also to be subtracted. So these are the 4 major items. Okay, va? First வந்து நம்ம ஆல்ரெடி பார்க்கறச்சு section 29ல வந்து how to compute business income இருக்கு. I won't say this is what is given in section 29. Section 29 will say the profit which is taxable should be computed in the manner provided from section 30 to 43b. That is what would be the provisions of section 29, right? So this is not what is said in section 29, but this is the format which you have to follow for the purpose of computing the income which is taxable, right? So now we'll go to section 30 and section 31. As far as section 30 and section 31 is concerned, these are very preliminary things, right? So if there is a rental property, right, in case of a rental property, the rent and repairs of that property shall be claimed as an expenditure. It shall be claimed as an expenditure அப்படினா என்னன்னா income tax it is allowed. Okay, so assume for example the same is already debited in the P&L account. What should you do? Rent and repairs is allowable as per income tax act. Okay, wow. Rent and repairs of a rented property is allowable as per income tax act. So it is also already debited to your P&L account. That expense is already debited to your P&L account. So what should you do now? Yes, come on, first answer. Yes, come on, answer. There is an expense which is allowable as per income tax act, that is debited in the P&L account. What should you do? என்ன பண்ணணும் சொல்லுங்க fast give me an answer. Question புரிஞ்சுதா first?
Sir, add பண்ணணும்.
ஏமா add பண்ணணும்? Why should you add?
Expenses debited ஆயிருக்கு.
ஆமா, expense debit ஆயிருக்கு.
அப்ப add பண்ணணும்.
அப்புறம் இங்க ஒரு பாயிண்ட் இருக்கு, but not allowed as per provisions of income tax. இந்த expense வந்து allowed or not allowed? Rent and repairs allowed or not allowed? அம்மா allowed. அப்ப ஏன் மாட add பண்ணணும்? Why should it be added then?
less
பண்ணணும். லெஸ்னா இந்த ரெண்டு பக்கெட்ல எது இந்த இதுல வரணும்ன்றீங்க? அதுல என்ன இருக்கு? expenses not debited in P&L account. நமக்கு தான் expense debit ஆயிடுச்சு.
ஆனா இந்த நாலு பக்கெட்லயுமே வராது.
வராதுன்னா அப்ப என்ன பண்ணணும்?
ஒண்ணுமே பண்ணணும்.
That is the perfect answer. So every time you are reading a section in PGBP, first check under which bucket it will come. Okay va? Already ஒரு expense debit ஆயிருக்கு, that is also allowed as per income tax act அப்படின்னா don't do anything, right? Nothing is required to be done. So every time you are reading a section, that's what I would again and again say while reading the chapter of PGBP, refresh your knowledge on accounting. அக்கௌண்ட்ஸ்ல ஒரு ஐட்டம்க்கு என்ன பண்றோன்றத பேஸ் பண்ணி தான் இன்கம் டாக்ஸ்ல நீ என்ன ட்ரீட்மெண்ட் கொடுக்க போறன்றதே இருக்கு. ஓகேவா? அக்கௌண்ட்ஸ்ல வந்து ஜஸ்ட் அ மினிட், whoever is here, do you understand Tamil? யாருக்குன்னா தமிழ் எதனா hindrance இருக்கா? Does somebody have an hindrance? If so, just raise your hands. If not, I'll take it as an yes and I'll continue. Yeah? Does somebody do not understand? I guess Naveen will understand. Indu, Niveta, Saraswati. Mohammed, do you understand Tamil? Mohammed Hafiz? Yeah, not an issue. So, இப்போ இங்க என்ன ப்ராப்ளம் அப்படின்னா, இன்கம் டாக்ஸ்ல வந்து இன்கம் டாக்ஸ் இஸ் பேஸ்ட் ஆன் நெட் ப்ராஃபிட் ஆஸ் பர் பிஎன்எல். கரெக்டா? நெட் ப்ராஃபிட் ஆஸ் பர் பிஎன்எல்ன்றது நீ எதை பேஸ் பண்ணி கண்டுபிடிப்ப? அக்கௌண்டிங் பிரின்சிபல்ஸ் அண்ட் அக்கௌண்டிங் பாலிசிஸ் பேஸ் பண்ணி கண்டுபிடிப்ப. ஸோ ஒரு ஐட்டமும் நீங்க படிக்கிறச்சு இஃப் அன் எக்ஸ்பென்ஸ் இஸ் அலௌட் அப்படின்னா அது ஆல்ரெடி அக்கௌண்டிங்ல என்ன நடந்திருக்குன்றதை நீ கண்டுபிடிச்சாதான் உன்னால இந்த 4 பக்கெட்லயுமே கொண்டு வர முடியும். ஏன்னா இங்க பாரு, இங்க எல்லா இடத்துலயுமே 2 கண்டிஷன் இருக்கும். ஒன் இஸ் இன் ரிலேஷன் டு அக்கௌண்டிங், தி அதர் ஒன் இஸ் இன் ரிலேஷன் டு டாக்ஸேஷன். If you just see any of the buckets here, it is going to have twin conditions to be satisfied. Correct? First condition is in relation to accounting. Expenses debited in P&L, not credited to P&L, not credited to P&L, not debited to P&L. ஓகேவா? ஸோ இதுல எல்லாமே ஒரு அக்கௌண்டிங் பார்ட், இன்னொன்று டாக்ஸேஷன் பார்ட். நாட் அலவுட், டாக்ஸபிள், டாக்ஸபிள், அலவபிள். ஒரு அக்கௌண்டிங் பார்ட், ஒரு டாக்ஸேஷன் பார்ட். ஸோ திஸ் இஸ் ஜஸ்ட் அ மேரேஜ் பிட்வீன் அக்கௌண்டிங் அண்ட் டாக்ஸேஷன். நீ இன்கம் டாக்ஸ்க்குன்னு ஆக்சுவலி நீ பார்த்தனா சேல்ஸ்ல இருந்து தனியா டிரைவ் பண்ணி ஒரு ப்ராஃபிட், டாக்ஸபிள் ப்ராஃபிட்னு கொண்டு வந்தால் ஆல் தீஸ் செக்ஷன்ஸ், ஆல் தீஸ் எக்ஸ்பென்சஸ் நீ டிடக்ட் பண்ணிட்டே போகலாம். ஸோ பேசிக்கலி நீ வந்து இன்கம் டேக்ஸ்க்கு தனியாக ஒரு புக்ஸை மெயின்டைன் பண்ணலாம். பட் அது யாருமே பண்றது கிடையாது. வாட் எவ்ரிபடி வில் டூ இஸ் தேல் ஜஸ்ட் டேக் தி அக்கௌண்டிங் புக்ஸ், தேல் அட்ஜஸ்ட் இட் ஃபார் டாக்ஸேஷன். ஸோ ஹவ் வி ஆர் டூயிங் இட் இன் கேஸ் ஆஃப் பிஆர்எஸ். பிஆர்எஸ்ல நம்ம என்ன பண்ணுவோம், கேஷ் புக் தனியாக இருக்கும், பேங்க் புக் தனியாக இருக்கும். கரெக்டாக பேங்க் புக் இருக்கும், பேங்க் பாஸ்புக் இருக்கும், பேங்க் ஸ்டேட்மெண்ட், வாட்ஸ் எவர் யூ வாண்ட் டு கால். நம்ம ரெண்டுத்தையும் எடுத்துட்டு ரெண்டும் ஈக்குவலா இருக்கணும்னு அவசியம் இல்லை. மேலே கீழே இருந்துச்சுன்னா கூட வில் ஜஸ்ட் மேனேஜ் இட், வில் ஜஸ்ட் ரெக்கன்சைல் இட் டு அக்ரி தி பேலன்சஸ். கரெக்டா? அதே மாதிரி தான் பிஆர்எஸ் நம்ம என்ன பண்ணுவோம், வில் டேக் சம்திங் அஸ் அ பேஸ். either நம்ம கேஷ் புக்கை பேஸா எடுத்து பேங்க் புக் கொண்டு வருவோம், இல்ல பேங்க் புக்கை பேஸா எடுத்து கேஷ் புக்கை கொண்டு வருவோம். இங்கேயும் நம்ம என்ன பண்றோம் அப்படின்னா, வில் டேக் அக்கௌண்டிங் அஸ் பேஸ் அண்ட் வி வில் ரீச் தி பாயிண்ட் ஆஃப் டாக்ஸேஷன். அக்கௌண்டிங் ப்ராஃபிட்னு ஒரு ப்ராஃபிட் இருக்கு, டாக்ஸபிள் ப்ராஃபிட்னு ஒரு ப்ராஃபிட் இருக்கு. ஸோ நம்ம அக்கௌண்டிங் ப்ராஃபிட்டை எடுத்துட்டு அதில் அடிஷன்ஸ் பண்ணி வில் ஜஸ்ட் பிரிங் இட் இன் டாண்டம் டு தி டாக்ஸபிள் ப்ராஃபிட். ஓகே, ஆக்சுவலி நீ எப்படி பண்ணணும் அப்படின்னா, பட் nobody is doing it and the law also does not want us to do it. So what will happen is, we should do is we should take the sales and then we should debit all the expenses. That is எல்லா எக்ஸ்பென்சஸையும் சப்ராக்ட் பண்ணி எல்லா இன்கம்ஸையும் ஆட் பண்ணி அப்படிதான் நம்மளோட டாக்ஸபிள் ப்ராஃபிட்டை நம்ம அரைவ் பண்ணி இருக்கணும். பட் அதை பண்ண வேணா நம்ம டிபார்ட்மெண்ட்டே நிறைய இடத்துல சொல்லிருக்காங்க, யூ ஷுட் நாட் மெயின்டைன் 2 books of accounts, one for the purpose of taxation and the other one for the purposes of accounting அப்படின்னு சொல்லிட்டு நமக்கு மேட் அப்படின்னு சொல்லிட்டு ஒரு சாப்டர் இருக்கும். இஃப் யூ வில் பி ரீடிங் இட் இன் ஃபைனல். ஸோ அந்த கான்டெக்ட்ல வரும்போது ஸ்பெசிஃபிக்லி செட் தட் தேர் ஷுட் பி ஒன்லி 1 books of accounts. ரெண்டுலாம் மெயின்டைன் பண்ண வேணா. யூ டேக் தி நெட் ப்ராஃபிட், you follow accounting, take the net profit as per accounting and then make the adjustments to bring it to taxable profit அப்படின்னு சொல்லிட்டாங்க. ஓகேவா? ஸோ இந்த எல்லா எக்ஸ்பென்சஸ்க்குமே அது அளவு ஆயிருந்ததுன்னா நீ எதுவுமே பண்ண வேணாம். அளவு ஆகலை அப்படின்னா நீ டிடக்ட் பண்ணணும். ஸோ அது எந்த பக்கெட்ல வரும் அப்படின்றத மட்டும் 2 சுச்சுவேஷன், எக்ஸ்பென்ஸ்னா 2 சுச்சுவேஷன் தான் இருக்கும், இன்கம்னா 2 சுச்சுவேஷன் தான் இருக்கும். அந்த 2 சுச்சுவேஷன் மட்டும் பார்த்துட்டே வா. ஓகே, ஸோ ஃபர்ஸ்ட் கேஸ், இன் கேஸ் ஆஃப் அ ரெண்டட் ப்ராப்பர்ட்டி, ரெண்ட் அண்ட் ரிப்பேர்ஸ் ஷால் பி அலோட் அஸ் அன் எக்ஸ்பென்ஸ். ஆல்ரெடி நம்ம அக்கௌண்டிங்ல அதை அலோவ் பண்ணுறதா திரும்ப அலோவ் பண்ண வேண்டாம். அக்கௌண்டிங்ல அலோவ் பண்ணுறதுனா யூ ஷுட் அலோவ் இட் நவ். ஸோ இன் கேஸ் ஆஃப் ஓன் ப்ராப்பர்ட்டி, கரண்ட் ரிப்பேர்ஸ் அலோன் ஷுட் பி deducted. It shall be claimed as expense. Assume, for example, in the books of accounts, rent on own property is debited to P&L. What should be done? In case of own property, self-owned property, rent is debited to P&L. என்ன பண்ணணும் இப்போ? ஹலோ,
மைனஸ் பண்ணணுமா சார்?
ஏன்பா மைனஸ் பண்ணணும்?
அது பிசினஸ் ஆர் ப்ரொஃபஷனுக்கு இல்லாத irrelevant தான்.
ஸோ அதனால இந்த irrelevantன்னு சொல்லாத, எனக்கு ஒரே ஒரு ஆன்சர் தான். இந்த 4 பக்கெட்ல எந்த பக்கெட்ல வரும் அதுக்கு உண்டான ரீசன், அவ்வளவுதான். ஸோ டோன்ட் ட்ரை டு கிவ் அ நியூ எக்ஸ்பிளனேஷன். உன்னோட அண்டர்ஸ்டாண்டிங் இஸ் ரைட்டான்றது கூட என்னால் கரெக்டாக சொல்ல முடியல. பிகாஸ் யுவர் ஆன்சர் இஸ் இட் இஸ் irrelevant to business இல்லை. சி, இஃப் ஐம் ஓனிங் அ ப்ராப்பர்ட்டி அண்ட் இஃப் ஐம் யூசிங் இட் ஃபார் மை ஓன் பர்பஸ், ரைட்? இப்போ நான் ஒரு கடை கட்டி வச்சிருக்கேன், செப்பரேட் என்டிட்டி கான்செப்ட் படி நான் வேற, பிஸ்னஸ் வேற. ஸோ நான் தான் இந்த பில்டிங்கோட ஓனரு. ஸோ சின்ஸ் ஐ எம் தி ஓனர் ஆஃப் திஸ் பில்டிங், ஐ எம் சார்ஜிங் ரெண்ட் பிகாஸ் பிஸ்னஸ் இஸ் செப்பரேட் பர்சன் ஆஸ் பர் செப்பரேட் என்டிட்டி கான்செப்ட். ஸோ அக்கௌண்டிங் படி இது கரெக்டாக தப்பா? ஆப்வியஸ்லி கரெக்ட். செப்பரேட் என்டிட்டி கான்செப்ட், பிஸ்னஸ் வேற, ப்ரொப்ரேட்டர் வேற. கரெக்டா? ஹவெவர் இன்கம் டாக்ஸ்ல வந்து என்ன சொல்றாங்கன்னா, ரெண்ட் ஆன் செல்ஃப் ஓன்டு ப்ராப்பர்ட்டி ஷல் நாட் பி கிளைம்ட் as deduction, which basically means as per section 30, in case of a own property you can only claim current repairs, you cannot claim rent. So rent is not allowed as per income tax act. But நீ ஆல்ரெடி P&L என்ன பண்ணிருக்க, டெபிட் பண்ணிருக்க. ஸோ எந்த பக்கெட்ல வரும்? ஃபர்ஸ்ட் பக்கெட், எக்ஸ்பென்சஸ் டெபிட்டட் இன் P&L account but not allowable as per the provisions of income tax act. ஓகேவா? clear? Yes.
Okay, sir.
Super. So in case of building, this is the one. In case of plant and machinery, current repairs and insurance premium can be claimed as deduction. Inge municipal taxes can be claimed as deduction, insurance can be claimed as deduction. Right. So next is depreciation. This is one of the very, very important areas of testing, because without depreciation, you cannot solve a PGBP problem. So depreciation proper understand பண்ணிக்கலாம். So the depreciation so from assessment year 88-89, the block concept of depreciation is being used. Okay, wow. So block concept of depreciation அப்படினா என்னன்னா, so individual assets depreciate பண்றதுக்கு பதிலா we will depreciate the block of assets. So depreciation is actually provided as per section 32(1)(2) and 32(1)(2)(a. அது additional depreciation. So 32(1)(2)ல if there is a block of asset, இங்க என்ன கொடுத்திருக்க பாரு, in case of any block of assets, such percentage on the written down value thereof as may be prescribed can be claimed as deduction. இவ்வளவுதான் கொடுத்திருக்கு 32(1)(2)ல. இதுதான் நம்ம மொத்த depreciation டிஸ்கஷன். இதுல மொத்தம் 3 terms நம்ம அண்டர்ஸ்டாண்ட் பண்ணோம். First one is block of assets, second one is written down value. So first block of assets அப்படினா என்னன்றதை we'll just go and see. As per section 2 clause 11, block of assets means anything which is falling within the same class and having same rate of depreciation. Right? So what do you mean by class of asset? இங்க ரெண்டு term இருக்கு again. Same class having same rate of depreciation. So ரெண்டு thing இருக்கு. So what do you mean by class of asset? Class of assets அப்படினா என்ன அப்படினா, in case of a tangible property இருந்துச்சுனா there are only 3 classes of assets. One building, no machinery, no plant or furniture. So whatsoever you may have as tangible assets, you should bring it only under these 3 categories. ஏன்னா லேண்டுக்கு டெப்ரிசியேஷன் கிடையாது. ஸோ அது ஆப்வியஸா இது கூட வரப்போறது இல்லை. ஸோ உன்னோட இருக்க மொத்த டான்ஜிபிள் அசெட்ஸுமே இந்த 3 பிளாக்குள்ள நீ கொண்டு வந்துடணும். ஒன்னு பில்டிங், இன்னொன்னு மெஷினரி, இன்னொன்னு பிளான்ட் அண்ட் ஃபர்னிச்சர். ஸோ இதுல இல்லாம இஸ் தேர் எனி டான்ஜிபிள் அசெட் யூ ஃபைண்ட்? அது ஃபர்ஸ்ட் சொல்லு எனக்கு. இஸ் தேர் a tangible asset which is not falling under this categories? Hello. Yeah. இது இல்லாம வேற எதனா ஒரு tangible asset இருக்கா?
Sir, vehicles.
Vehiclesல உனக்கு machineryல வந்துரும் இல்ல plantல வந்துரும். Okay. So basically இது மட்டும்தான். But vehicle separate block வரும். That is because it is going to have a different rate of depreciation அப்படின்றதுனால. But general depreciation vehiclesமே plant and machineryல தான் வந்துரும். Right. So what I'll just put it the other way around. Whatsoever you may have, it should only come under these blocks. Okay. So same is the case in case of intangibles, know-how, patents, copyrights, trademark, licenses, franchises, or any other business or commercial rights of similar nature, not being goodwill of a business or profession. Goodwill of a business or profession, depreciation கிடையாது. Okay, it was a specific amendment Finance Act 2021. So Finance Act 2021 they took out the depreciation on goodwill. Right. அதுக்கு முன்னாடி எப்படி இருந்துச்சுன்னா depreciation was allowed. I am not getting deep into it. There is a case law called Smith Securities in 2012 Supreme Court judgment இருக்கும். So அதை பேஸ் பண்ணி we were claiming depreciation. But 2021 they specifically said goodwillக்கு இன்னைக்கு depreciation கிடையாது. Okay. So what do you mean by WDV? WDV is defined as per 43(6) of the Act. So what you should do is you should take the opening WDV and you should add the additions made during the year. Additions made during the year, நீ என்ன ஆட் பண்ணணும்னா actual cost less monies payable. Actually இந்த words தான் கொடுத்திருக்கு. So if you are going to use the same words, you will be having a better presentation, right? Minus monies payable in case of deletions. What do you mean by monies payable? அப்படின்றத we'll just next slide நான் கொடுத்திருக்கேன். I'll just get there. So after by taking opening WDV and adding additions and subtracting monies payable, you will get the WDV which is chargeable for depreciation. On this, you should multiply the rate of depreciation. You will get depreciation. If you subtract the depreciation of current year from this closing WDV liable for charge, you will get the closing WDV. So opening WDV plus additions minus deletions will give you closing WDV. இங்க deletions னு எழுதுறதுக்கு பதிலா monies payable அப்படின்னு எழுதலாம். Okay. So monies payable உடைய literal meaning எடுத்துக்காதீங்க because that will not make any sense. But you might take the meaning which is given here. So monies payable அப்படின்னா என்ன define பண்ணிருக்காங்கன்னா it is insurance or salvage value. So, where the asset is sold, the price for which it is sold. அவ்வளவுதான். Okay. Second is what do you mean by actual cost? Actual cost shall not include. இதெல்லாம் வந்து some important points alone I'm just putting, right? In relation to 43.6, there are multiple other points. I'm not getting deep into it. So in case of additions, if the actual cost, if it is paid in cash அப்படின்னா in excess of 10,000, it shall not be claimed as deduction. Okay. So basically 10,000 க்கு மேல போச்சுன்னா you should pay only through bank. If it is not paid through bank அப்படின்னா that should not be included in your actual cost. In additionsல அது வரக்கூடாது. Right. So next one, the actual cost shall not include cost of the asset which is met by the other person. Assume for example, the government is giving you subsidy for purchase of a machinery. That shall not be included in the actual cost of the machinery. Okay. Third point is interest on borrowed capital for the purpose of capital asset shall be capitalized till the asset is put to use. நம்ம அக்கௌண்டிங்ல வந்து there is a concept of qualifying assetன்ற மாதிரி லைக் அப்படின்னு ஒரு கான்செப்ட் இருக்கும். ஸோ இஃப் இட் ஷுட் பி கன்ஸ்ட்ரக்டட் ஃபார் பீரியட் மோர் தென் 12 monthsன்ற மாதிரி ஒரு கண்டிஷன் இருக்கும். இங்கே அந்த கண்டிஷன்லாம் எதுவுமே கிடையாது. ஸோ இஃப் யூர் ஜஸ்ட் கோயிங் டு borrow any money for the purpose of capital asset from the date when you bought till the date when it is ready to put to use, that interest cost shall be capitalized. Remaining interest cost should be charged to P&L. Okay va? What do you mean by actual cost? As per 43.1 actual cost என்ன define பண்ணிருக்கு. இதெல்லாம் special kind of situations. This might not be tested. If they want to test this, it will be tested only in MCQ. Right? If inventory is converted into capital asset, அப்படின்னா FME on the date of conversion shall be treated to be the actual cost. If it is the gift, அப்படின்னா actual cost to the previous owner reduced by the depreciation claimed by the previous owner. As if it is the only asset in the block. இதுக்கு என்ன மீனிங்ன்றத I just tell you. Just give me some time. Third point வந்து reacquisition of asset. இப்போ நீங்க ஒரு அசெட்டை வந்து வித்துட்டு திரும்ப அதே அசெட்டை வாங்குற அப்படின்னா the actual cost should be actual cost of first purchase minus depreciation if you have had the asset without disposing it. Second வந்து actual price for which the asset is acquired, that is the purchase price. Fourth, building which is previously used for personal purpose, அதுக்கு என்ன பண்ணணும்னா actual cost minus depreciation as if you have used it for business purpose இருந்துச்சு அப்படின்னா அதுக்கு என்ன டெப்ரிசியேஷன் சார்ஜ் பண்ணுவியோ அந்த டெப்ரிசியேஷன் சார்ஜ் பண்ணதுக்கு அப்புறமா வர காஸ்ட் தான் உன்னோட ஆக்சுவல் காஸ்ட். ரைட். ஸோ திஸ் இஸ் தி கான்செப்ட் ஆஃப் டெப்ரிசியேஷன். ஸோ ஃபர்ஸ்ட், இஸ் டெப்ரிசியேஷன் கிளியர் ஆர் யூ வாண்ட் சம் 2-3 minutes டு ஜஸ்ட் ரிவைஸ் டெப்ரிசியேஷன்? டெப்ரிசியேஷன் புரியாம அடிஷனல் டெப்ரிசியேஷன் சொல்றது இஸ் ஆஃப் நோ யூஸ். இஸ் டெப்ரிசியேஷன் கிளியர்?
Yes, sir.
Okay, just take 5 minutes, revise depreciation, and then we'll just continue. So first வந்து depreciation என்னன்றதை பார்த்துட்டோம். Next வந்து additional depreciation. So even though it is called as additional depreciation, the better term to call it will be accelerated depreciation. Primarily for one reason that நீ next year claim பண்ண போற depreciationல இதை யூஸ் பண்ண கொஞ்சம் முன்னாடி claim பண்ணுவ, அவ்வளவுதான். Nothing else. So what do you mean by additional depreciation under 32(1)(2)(a)? See, if any new machinery or plant is acquired by an SSE engaged in business of manufacture or production, if somebody is in the business of manufacture or production and he is purchasing a new machinery or plant, in such case, in the first year of acquisition, he shall claim 20% of actual cost as additional depreciation. So, இப்போ நீ வந்து ஒரு asset வாங்குற 1000 rupees. Okay. So, இந்த 1000 rupeesக்கு 20% எவ்வளோ வரும்? 200 rupees. கரெக்டா? So, இந்த 200 வந்து additional depreciation. ஆக்சுவல் காஸ்ட்ல உனக்கு அசியூம் ஃபார் எக்ஸாம்பிள் இது சும்மா ஒரு ரேட் ஒரு 10% வச்சுக்கலாம், 15% நார்மலா இருக்கும். ஜஸ்ட் கீப்பிங் இட் அஸ் 10, அது ஒரு 100 வரும். இது நார்மல் டெப்ரிசியேஷன். ஸோ உன்னோட WDV அட் தி எண்ட் ஆஃப் ஃபர்ஸ்ட் இயர் வந்து 700 வரும். ஓகேவா? இந்த 100ன்றது நார்மல் டெப்ரிசியேஷன், 200ன்றது accelerated depreciation or additional depreciation as the case may be. Additional depreciation is allowable only for a person who is engaged in the business of manufacture or production of any article or thing. Right. Next one, if additional depreciation is claimed, but there are certain conditions for which additional depreciation is to be claimed. Generally, additional depreciation எதுக்கு தெரியுமா கொடுத்தாங்க? For to boost the production capacity. Right. So if a machinery is already used, they are of the view that it is not going to increase the production capacity. So whenever there is a machinery or plant which before its installation by the assessee was used either within or outside India by any person, in such case additional depreciation cannot be claimed. Next, any machinery or plant the whole of the actual cost of which is allowed as deduction. So இது வந்து 35 AD specified businesses ன்னு சொல்லுவாங்க. அந்த கேசஸ்க்கு 3212A is not applicable. Right? So these are the two things. Second point வந்து, if the asset is put to use for less than 180 days, நம்ம actual depreciation இந்த point இருக்கும். If the asset is put to use for less than 180 days அப்படின்னா half of the depreciation is to be claimed. If the asset is put to use for less than 180 days, half of the depreciation shall be claimed. So basically இதுல வந்து ரெண்டே class of assets தான். ஒன்னு put to use for more than 180, இன்னொன்னு வந்து put to use for less than 180 days. If the asset is put to use for less than 180 days அப்படின்னா half of the depreciation alone shall be claimed. Right? If it is put to use for any period more than 180 days அப்படின்னா even if it is for 181 or 182 days or 180 days as the case may be. So 180 days ke use பண்ணி இருந்தாலும் if it is put to use for 180 days then full depreciation is allowed. Unlike Companies Act depreciation, that is the accounting depreciation, where if the asset is put to use for one day, we'll put depreciation only for that one day. Correct? இங்க அந்த மாதிரி கிடையாது. Only two categories, less than 180 half the depreciation, 180 and more than 180 full depreciation. அவ்வளவுதான். அதே பாயிண்ட் தான் உனக்கு additional depreciationலயும் இருக்கு. Additional depreciation என்ன கொடுத்திருக்கான்? If the asset is put to use for less than 180 days அப்படின்னா half of the additional depreciation can be claimed in the current year and the remaining half can be claimed in the next year. Right? So half of the depreciation current year, the remaining half of the additional depreciation in the next year. But normal depreciation க்கு current yearல half அவ்வளவுதான். Next year க்கு normal depreciation, normal provisions படி இந்த carry forwardல normal depreciation க்கு கிடையாது. Only for additional depreciation there is this carry forward from current year to next year, because next year you cannot claim additional depreciation. Only in the year in which a new machinery is put to use, only in that specified year you can claim additional depreciation. Right? So with this the depreciation part comes to an end. So are we clear with the depreciation part for both depreciation and additional depreciation?
Yes, sir.
Super. Question தெரியுதா?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So just someone read this question. Yeah, Naveen, read the question.
Murugar Enterprises is a manufacturing company established in 2006. A WDV of the assets as on 31st March 2022 is as follows. Building 50 lakhs, plant and machinery 100 lakhs, inclusive of computers and laptops. Computers and laptops 39 lakhs. Company placed an order to purchase a new machinery worth 250 lakhs to Valli Limited. To fund the entire order, it took a loan to an extent of 200 lakhs from Devi Bank at 18% per annum. Loan was sanctioned on 1st April 2022 and the asset was ready for its intended use on November 2022. However, the asset was put to use on February 2023. In order to incentivize the purchase of the asset, Murugar Limited received subsidy from government to an extent of 50 lakhs. GST on the machinery was at 18% and ITC was not availed on such purchase in accordance with Section 16 and 17 of CGST Act. A new building was acquired on lease for 80 lakhs lump sum payment and was put to use from 3rd April 2022. Portion of computers and laptops were damaged due to floods and insurance was recovered to an extent of 22 lakhs. It also purchased a second-hand machinery for 18 lakhs from Shiva Enterprises and purchased a laptop for installing in office for 21 lakhs. Compute depreciation on the above after taking into consideration the relevant points.
Okay, just give me a minute. I'll just show you the depreciation rates. So as far as the rates of depreciation are concerned, see, this is I guess my different screen is visible, correct? Yeah. Yeah. So is my Chrome screen visible? I guess yes.
No, sir.
Just a
No,
minute.
sir.
Now it is visible, right? So this is the entire list of depreciation which is given. Okay, இது மொத்தமே depreciation rates தான். But it is practically impossible to remember all this and it is also not relevant. So what we will remember is building normally 10%. Okay. Furnitures and fittings normally 10%. Plant and machinery 15%. And then computer software 40%. Computers including computer software 40%. That's it. In the rates மட்டும் நம்ம ரிமெம்பர் பண்ணிப்போம். இதை தாண்டி வேற எதனா வந்துச்சுன்னா let them give it in the let them give it. And one more thing, intangible assets 25%. Right. So let me put it again. Building, normal buildings 10%. If it is a residential building 5%. Okay, wow. Rates of depreciation. Rates of depreciation. Normal building. How much percentage? 10%. Residential building 5%. Then plant and machinery, furnitures and fittings 10%. 10%. Then plant and machinery 15%. Then intangible assets 40%. Sorry, intangible assets 25%. Computers including computer software, it is 40%. Okay, wow. So we'll just remember only these things. So if something else is asked, if let us assume it will be given in the question, right? So in the rate motto, we'll always remember normal building 10, furnitures and fittings 10, residential building 5, plant and machinery 15, intangible 25, computers including computer software 40, right? So based on this, solve this question. Yeah, let me put it clearly. This question might not be tested in exam, but the knowledge which we gain from this question is required for solving all the examination problems. This is the maximum and it contains all the adjustments in relation to depreciation. So in the one question pota depreciation irukka ella adjustments cover aagum, right? So this is in relation to that. So you can just solve this. If there is any doubts, we'll just clarify. Just take 5 minutes, we'll solve the question. So as far as this D point is concerned, GST on machinery was at 18%. ITC was not availed on such purpose, was not availed on such purchase in accordance with section 16 and 17. So generally இப்போ ஒரு asset வாங்குறோம்னு வச்சுக்கோங்க, ஒரு goods வாங்குறோம்னா நமக்கு அதுக்கு if you're going to purchase a good, you can claim the GST which you have paid as ITC credit, correct? As per section 16 and 17 of GST Act. GST இது ஓரளவுக்கு தெரியுமா? So இப்போ நீ ஒரு பர்ச்சேஸ் பண்ற ஒரு இன்புட் இருக்குன்னா அந்த இன்புட்டுக்கு you can claim GST. Sorry, you can claim ITC. For every input you can claim ITC. இப்போ ஒரு மெஷினரி வாங்குறேன்னா அதுவும் வந்து உனக்கு ஒரு இன்புட் தான், கரெக்டா? கேபிட்டல் குட்ஸ். ஸோ அதுக்கு நீ பே பண்ற ஜிஎஸ்டி இருக்குல்ல, இப்போ அந்த ஜிஎஸ்டியை நீ ஐடிசி கிரெடிட் எடுத்துட்டேன்னா தட் ஷுட் நாட் பி இன்க்ளூடட் இன் யுவர் ஆக்சுவல் காஸ்ட். Okay, if you have not taken the ITC, it can be included in your cost. As for example, if the credit has not been taken, then you can claim the included in the cost of asset. Example, cost of asset 10 lakhs. Okay, so GST at the rate of 18%. சும்மா ஒரு எக்ஸாம்பிளுக்கு வச்சுக்கலாம். So what would have been the GST? 1.8 lakhs. Correct? Situation 1. ITC credit has not been taken. If ITC credit has not been taken, what you can do is you can include this in your actual cost. So 10 plus 1.8 is 11.8. So this will be the actual cost which is to be added in block 2. Okay, wow. Situation 2, ITC credit has been taken, that is availed. Actual terms and availed. So இங்க என்ன பண்ணனும்னா 10 will be your actual cost, which is added in block 2. Okay, so இப்போ இந்த backdropல you just try this. அந்த ஒரு பாயிண்ட் மட்டும் தானே, GST was 18%, ITC was not availed அப்படின்னா it is to be included in the actual cost. If ITC is availed அப்படின்னா it should not be included in the actual cost. அவ்வளவுதான். Okay, clear? Super. We'll check if your answer is correct, right? So first is Murugar Enterprises is a manufacturing company established in 2006. So generally ஒரு depreciation question பார்க்கும்போது what is the nature of the company அப்படின்றத செக் பண்ணிக்கணும். ஏன்னா if it is a manufacturing company you can claim additional depreciation. Correct? So manufacturing company established in 2006. WDV of the assets as on 31st March 22 is as follows. Building 50 lakhs, plant and machinery 100 lakhs, computers and laptops 39 lakhs. This 100 lakhs is inclusive of this 39 lakhs. So இதுல மொத்தம் இப்போ எத்தனை block of assets இருக்கு? Totally there are 3 blocks. First building, plant and machinery separate block, computers and laptops separate block because it is having a different rate of depreciation. நம்ம block of asset depreciation ல பார்க்கும்போது two things should be satisfied. First one is it should belong to the same class of asset. Second thing is it should have the same rate of depreciation. Even though computers and laptops is to be included in plant and machinery, just because it is having a separate different rate of depreciation, that is shown as a separate block, right? So totally there are 3 blocks. One is building, next one is plant and machinery, next one is laptops, computers and laptops. So what is the opening WDV rate in building 10%, plant and machinery 15, computers and laptops 40. Opening WDV 50 lakhs. இங்க வந்து 100 minus 39. So what will be there? It will be 61 and the remaining 39 it will come here. Okay, well, first company placed an order to purchase a new machinery worth 250 lakhs to Valli Limited. To fund the entire order, it took a loan to an extent of 200 lakhs from Devi Limited, Devi Bank at 18% per annum. Loan was sanctioned on 1st April 2022 and the asset was ready for its intended use on November. However, the asset was put to use on February 2023. So இங்க ரெண்டு டேட் இருக்கு. எந்த டேட்ல On which date should you stop the capitalization? So first வந்து machinery-யோட purchase cost வந்து 250 lakhs. So 250 lakhs first அதை போட்டுருவோம். இப்போ interest cost என்னன்றது நம்ம பார்க்கணும். கரெக்டா? Interest at the rate of 18% per annum. From which date till which date should I take? Yes. Hello. Come on, answer. Yes, எத்தனை மாசத்துக்கு போடணும்? Come on, fast. Don't make me wait. Come on, fast.
Sir, 7 months.
7 months. That is from April till November. Correcta?
Yes, sir.
From April till November. Okay. Some other answer? Does someone else have a different answer?
Sir, April to November na 8 months varada sir.
April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November. Okay, போட்டுக்கோ. So ஒண்ணுமே இல்ல. He has taken it as 1st of November. You are taking it as last of November. அவ்வளவுதான். Yeah. So what we should do is asset put to use எப்போ? So when is the asset put ready for? It is ready for its intended use on November. When the asset is put to use? On February. February na February 1st வச்சுக்கலாம். சும்மா ஒரு எக்ஸாம்பிளுக்கு. So from loan was sanctioned on 1st April till 31st of January you need to capitalize the interest. Okay va? So நமக்கு இருக்கிற condition வந்து it is not when the asset is ready for its intended use கிடையாது. Until the asset is put to use தான். Ready for its intended use வந்து it is for the accounting purposes. Only for the purpose of accounting, when it is ready for its intended use, you should stop the capitalization. For the purposes of income tax, only when the asset is put to use for its intended use, only till that point you can capitalize the interest. So your total interest capitalization will be 300. I'll just put this 200 into 18% into 10 by 12. Correct? So 30. That is what is here. Okay, wow. So 250 lakhs and then 30 lakhs. Okay. So what is the next point? In order to incentivize the purchase of the asset, Murugan Limited received subsidy from the government to an extent of 50 lakhs. Subsidy, it is met by the other person. Correct? Cost is met by the other person, so it is to be reduced. So 50 lakhs, it is to be reduced. Okay. What is the next point? GST on the machinery was at 18%. ITC was not availed on such purchase. So 250 into 18%. 45 lakhs. You have to add this. What will be the answer? 250 minus 50, 200 plus 30, 230 plus 45, 275. And the 275 இங்க வந்துரும். Put to use for less than 180 days. Why it is put to use for less than 180 days? Because இங்க put to use date என்ன கொடுத்திருக்கான்? February ன்னு கொடுத்திருக்கான். Definitely it is going to be less than 180. So put to use for less than 180 days. Right. Next, in order to incentivize the purchase of the asset, this is done. New building was acquired on lease for 80 lakhs. Can you claim depreciation on this? The asset on which is taken
No,
on
sir.
lease. You cannot claim it because you are not the owner of the asset. Super. Good answer. Right. Since you are not the owner of the asset, you cannot claim the depreciation. So இதுக்கு வந்து நீ எந்த இதுவும் பண்ண வேண்டாம். Next, portion of computers and laptops were damaged due to floods and insurance was recovered to the extent of 22 lakhs. இந்த 22 lakhs என்ன பண்ணணும்? It is to be subtracted. கரெக்டா? Money is payable அப்படின்னு போட்டு subtract பண்ணணும். Correct? Next. It also purchased second-hand machinery for 18 lakhs from Siva Enterprises and purchased laptops for installing in office 21 lakhs. So 18 lakhs second-hand machinery, 21 lakhs of computers and laptops. 18 lakhs of second-hand machinery, 21 lakhs of computers and laptops. So generally, since nothing is given, I'm taking it to be more than 180. But specifically, உங்களுக்கு examல questionsல கொடுத்துருவாங்க more than 180 or less than 180. If it is not given, take it as more than 180 and specifically give a note that since nothing has been mentioned in the question regarding the date of the date when the asset is put to use, it has been assumed to be put to use for more than 180 days அப்படின்னு சொல்லிட்டு போட்டுடலாம். Okay. So opening WDV already பார்த்தாச்சு. Opening WDV. Right. So after just taking these considerations, it will be 50 lakhs. This is going to be 3 crore 54 lakhs. This is going to be 38 lakhs. So more than 180 days இருந்துச்சு அப்படின்னா entire depreciation can be claimed. Right. So opening WDV க்கு the normal rate. இங்கே opening WDV க்கு normal rate. இங்கே opening WDV க்கு normal rate. 39 lakhs into 40%. இது வந்து 61 lakhs into 15% will get this. So put to use for more than 180 days. இங்க வரச்சு இது ரெண்டுத்தையும் ஆட் பண்ணி 61 lakhs plus 18 lakhs into 15% போட்டா உங்களுக்கு 11 lakhs 85,000 வரும். நெக்ஸ்ட் வந்து less than 180 days 2 crore 75 lakhs into 15% into 1/2 போட்டா இந்த அமௌண்ட் வந்துரும். So this is the total normal depreciation. Right. Next is additional depreciation. So additional depreciation can be claimed only for what? This 18 lakhs you cannot claim the additional depreciation. 2 crore 75 lakhs மட்டும் தான் additional depreciation claim பண்ண முடியும். So 2 crore 75 lakhs into 20% into 1/2, which is going to be 27 lakhs 50,000. And the amount inga vandrum. So after just adding and subtracting this, so now WDV minus this normal depreciation is going to give you 45 lakhs, 2 crore 94 lakhs, and then 22 lakhs 80,000. This is the answer. Is everybody clear with this? So this is how this is the most complicated depreciation problem. So with this knowledge you can solve anything. இது தாண்டி ஒரு 2-3 பாயிண்ட்ஸ் இருக்கும். So one is conversion of an asset. So that is to be tested in MCQ. That might be tested in MCQ. So now I'll give you the questions. You can just have a look at it. If there is anything, you can just solve it. So is depreciation first clear? Yes. Is it clear? Yeah, I'm assuming it to be clear. Next point is first. இப்போ அந்த நம்ம first இது பார்த்தோம் இல்லையா? So how should it be treated here? In this 4 blocks. How should this be dealt here? What you do is whatever depreciation is given as per the Companies Act, always add it. Whatever depreciation is given as per Companies Act or whatever depreciation is as per accounting, add it. Whatever depreciation you are computing and finding here, that is to be subtracted. This is the adjustment for depreciation. Add the depreciation as per accounting or Companies Act, subtract the depreciation which has been computed as per income tax act. There comes an end to the concept of depreciation. Next, there is one more concept in relation to this depreciation, which I'll deal in capital gains chapter, sale of a depreciation, capital gains on sale of a depreciable asset. I'll just deal that in the capital gains chapter. So I guess here it is fine. First, is there any doubts?